So overall, I mean, anyone listening would think, man, Hope Church, this movement, it sounds thrilling. But with every movement of God, there's always struggles. There's always opposition from the enemy. There's always mistakes that we've made along the way. I know I've made plenty along the way. So what would you say are some of the mistakes or lessons you've learned in your 30 years of reaching college students? And if you could do it over again, what would you change?
Hands down, easy question. I'd change my haircut. That's for sure. I would get a Paul Wooster haircut. Seriously, we've learned a lot. I mean, here's one thing we've learned, that students need to belong before they believe.
Yeah, that's
and if we just lead with, pushing the gospel on people, we create a culture where people think we're pushy. So we want people to belong before they believe. Look, at my motto is everybody's open someday and somebody's open today. So we just need to talk to a bunch of people, plant a bunch of seed. So that was something we made mistakes on early on, is that we were just really out there kind of being that way. And instead of really saying, hey, come and see what we're doing, check it out, and sort of a warm simmer to the gospel, which is still very intentional. So we really have learned to emphasize friendships. My other motto is meet a ton of people, make a bunch of friends, and make a few disciples every year. So number two, I would say, is that with young staff, and again, we have 115 staff and interns and residents. So we have a young staff, average age 23. So we need a lot of training, because the young people, as you know, have zeal. We remember being young, sort of, I think. Anyway, so we remember being young and having zeal without wisdom. So we've had to train these tension points that exist in campus ministry. Things like following up students. Students have a hard time saying no. They'll fill out a survey, say yes. So we have a policy in our staff, because of pain, that we don't call students after 3 times, because we don't want to pressure them or be perceived as harassing them. So we might have someone says, I want to come to church, Bible study, 3 calls. If they don't respond, we don't call them again. If they come back around and seek us out, great, but that's it. That was a painful lesson to learn. Another one was asking permission in discipleship conversations, asking for permission to speak into someone's life in an area where they need gospel light in that area. I could go on and on about the training we do. We have a best practices manual and a code of conduct for our staff, so that when they are actually engaging in different topics, they know exactly what we believe about this and how we train, so that there's not any confusion. I mean, there's these tension points that we train on regularly.
Wow. Wish we could go on and on. I'd like to see some of those manuals, secret documents, well, I think some people, they just feel like, no, I've got to reinvent the wheel on everything, and I what is our motives if it always has to be we that reinvent it? But over and over again, you've been sharing and giving credit away to others about how God has used other people and other ministries and other resources, and you're plugging those in and utilizing them in some powerful ways. And so thank you for your humility and your teachability, and how that builds partnership and collaboration in the body of Christ. Is a beautiful thing. I love it, Brian.
Thank you.
And so thanks for even admitting that you have made some mistakes. I've thought about writing a book, Paul, the top 100 mistakes I've made in ministry, but I haven't been able to narrow it down to the top 100. It's a problem, So I'm going to have to, go to the top 200 or something.